Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rena. So today is a speed run of next week's video that I'm going to put out for you guys. It's how to create male facial features on Vroid characters. So if you haven't watched last week's video, I went through how I do mouths and noses in that video. So this week I'm going to go a little quicker on how I do that. And for those who need a bit more detail, can wait for next week where I go in a bit slower and a bit more detail on how I create that. So let's get to it. We're going to remove the nose, any blush that might be there, and little mouth shadowing. So let's do that right now. Cool. Great. Go to the skin. We are going to go add some texture to your skin, sir. Let's try this on for size. Alright, that works for me, I guess. Yeah, that can work. It's a little better. So I originally had it like that, and then had that shape. Now on the bottom lip, you're usually a little bit lighter in color. Blur, blend. What if I just add some details? Try to do a really thin one, and then blend. So after creating that U shape, I wanted to add a bit of detail under the bottom lip just so we have an outline to work with. You know what, I should probably change brush styles. I'm gonna also take off the grid. So I just did these lines to kind of like make it a little outline. Woo! Just take a darker color, draw in a little outline of where the lips should be ending, and then just do a little outline. That kind of gives it more of like a cartoony effect too. So I'm gonna leave it like that for the lips. You're gonna take the regular skin color that you have, make it slightly darker. I kind of manipulate the shade slightly so it still has like a bit of reddish undertone. Cool, that works. Gonna turn it back up to about like a 14 size brush size, 14, 15, make the same shape. So we have that circle, and then I do a little circle on here, so it's like half circle and then Mickey Mouse ears on the other side. And then you take a darker shade and do a smaller brush, so like half the quarter the size missing, and draw in the little nostrils. And then you're going to go in with the blur tool, still having that smaller brush. I'm just going to shrink it a little bit so it's not as harsh for the nostrils, and erase that part there, and then go back in with about a size 10 to 13 brush size and fill in that part of the inner circle so he still has a bit of a highlight but not too much, that's not overpowering. And then I kind of pull the blur effect up a bit so it travels up his nose so he has a bit of depth going there, and then I kind of leave it as that. And then you're gonna go in with some highlights to make it more cartoony. So I'm gonna go in with a color that's similar to his texture and maybe like 2 shades lighter. Shrink that brush size. I like to do the same on both sides for underneath the eyes. I just want to see how light that comes up. That's a fine color for me to work with. I'm going to actually make the brush size a little bit bigger since I'm drawing on the avatar itself. Oh, I also don't like using the fader brush. I like to do the solid one for this, and it just gives it more of like a cartoony vibe. And then I usually turn off the mirroring, and I suck at drawing straight lines up, but you would want a line that's kind of like going up the shaft of his nose, somewhere around this area. I just suck at drawing straight lines, so don't mind me. I just did that like 50 times. And then we're gonna have one over the lip, and then you can have one slightly underneath the lip. There you go, and there you have it. There is his little highlight. And if you want to add one on the nose on one side, showing that's where the light is hitting, and then I usually kind of go in the middle of his nose, so kind of like this area, and then just leave it like that, and that gives me the highlights that I want to work with for this character. And that's basically how I do the faces in a nutshell. So I will see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye.